Hi GameScope, my name is Erin Piepergerdes. I'm a producer at NetherRealm Studios, and we're here at IgroMire to show you Injustice: Gods Among Us. So I've been a producer at NetherRealm Studio for about 5 years now, and I've worked on such titles as Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, Mortal Kombat from a year ago, Batman Arkham City Lockdown, and many others. So this is my first trip to Moscow. I'm actually really excited to be here. So far I've mainly seen IgroMire, but IgroMire is a fantastic show. I encourage everybody to come down and check it out, and hopefully I'll get a little bit of time to see some other sites before I leave here. So IgroMire has been a great show for me so far. It's actually on par with any of the shows that I've been to, like PAX or E3. You know, there's a wide variety of games being displayed here, a lot of really enthusiastic gamers that are here to check out the games, and everybody's very, very friendly, and everybody seems very excited about all the games. So Injustice has been in development a little over a year now. We just announced about 4 or 5 months ago that the game was in existence, and it will be actually released in springtime of 2013. So with Injustice, we're obviously set in the DC universe this time, and when we sat down and decided to make this game, we looked at all the characters in the DC universe and had a very difficult time kind of paring it down to a roster for our game. But we think in the end, people will see some fan favorites like Superman and Batman, as well as a few surprises like Solomon Grundy. So there's a wide variety of characters in our game and a lot of different fight styles for fans of the fighting games. So obviously NetherRealm Studios is known for our long history of making Mortal Kombat games. This time around though, we did want to do something a little bit different. We had some ideas for some new gameplay elements that didn't necessarily fit within the Mortal Kombat universe. You know, our fans, when they play a new Mortal Kombat game, they expect the over-the-top violence, they expect the fatalities. So we've always had some ideas that we were interested in trying to develop that didn't necessarily fit within Mortal Kombat. So doing Injustice gave us a chance to experiment a little bit more and try some new gameplay elements. So while we were choosing our character roster for Injustice, we wanted to make sure we had a wide variety of characters. You know, we wanted to make sure that anybody that plays the game has a lot of different fight styles that they can experiment with, and really find the one that appeals to their senses and how they want to play the game. So, you know, it was very important for us to have not only big power characters like Superman or Solomon Grundy, but also characters that are more agile. Maybe they rely much more on their gadgets, like Batman with his batarangs and his grappling hooks and things of that nature. So overall, we just wanted to make sure it was a very diverse cast of characters. So anybody that played the last Mortal Kombat knows that we had a very extensive story mode. It was one of our fans' favorite features of that game. So when we decided to make Injustice, we wanted to outdo ourselves. So Injustice will also have a story mode, but an even bigger, more over-the-top story. You know, obviously you can't make a game like Injustice without explaining why the characters are fighting and how Nightwing can beat up Superman and these sorts of things. So we sat down with some writers from DC Comics, Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti, and crafted a tale about these characters that will answer these questions, and also I think really give the fans of the game like many hours of gameplay and enjoyment. So Injustice should feel instantly familiar to anybody that's played Mortal Kombat before. The controls are a little bit different this time around, but if you've played fighting games, you should be able to pick it up, study the moves, string together some really cool combos. But we also want to make sure anytime we make a game that it's accessible enough for casual fans. Maybe Injustice brings in some people that are fans of the comic books but haven't necessarily played Mortal Kombat. So we try to keep the controls simple enough that you can still jump right into the game, be competitive in matches, and have a good time. So with Injustice, we're going to have a lot of iconic locations from the DC universe to actually fight in and compete in. You know, we've already announced that the Batcave, Metropolis, Fortress of Solitude are in the game, and there'll be many others as well. These environments are also much larger than anything we've done before. You'll see each environment is actually made up of 2 or 3 separate areas that you can transition back and forth between. There's also some gameplay elements in these environments that are a new thing for us. We actually included objects that you can interact with, and you know, these are objects that you interact with in different ways depending on the character that you actually selected. So we wanted the arena selection in this game to be as important as the character selection. So combat in Injustice is going to be very familiar for people that played Mortal Kombat. You're going to see there's a meter that both characters have that they can use. It's kind of a risk versus reward system. The more you save up the meter, the more of a reward that you get for using it. You know, you can spend 1 bar of your meter to do enhanced versions of any of your attacks. You can spend 2 bars of your meter to do a combo breaker, or if you save up the entire meter, you can actually do a super move. You know, I mentioned we don't have fatalities in this game, but we are the Mortal Kombat Kombat team, we like our big over-the-top moments, so we have included these super moves for each character that are the most punishing blows in the game. Very, very big, dramatic moves. So when we sat down to make the story for Injustice, we actually, our internal writers at NetherRealm sketched out a kind of a plot, a rough plot, and then we started to involve the writers from DC. They were extremely helpful, like just helping make sure that the dialogue was something that the characters would say, that it was true to DC's vision of these characters. But it was a very collaborative process. Like they definitely fed off of our ideas and just helped us overall to improve the story and make it very polished. So everybody that plays Mortal Kombat knows that we have a very high level of violence in our game. This game's going to be a little bit different. I mean, we're trying to appeal to a broader audience, so there will be blood in the game, there will be character damage, and we're definitely going to push the boundaries as much as we can. But at the same time, you're not necessarily going to see things that you would in Mortal Kombat, like decapitations and things of that nature. So the visuals of this game are dramatically improved over our last game. We're using the same engine, but we've continued to improve upon some of our technology. So we actually have a new lighting and a new rendering system, which allows us to have a level of detail to our characters' environments that just wasn't possible before. So we're really proud of the look that we've achieved. We wanted a very dark, a very gritty game, and having this technology to back us up has been instrumental in achieving that goal. So anytime we make a game, we absolutely look at what other fighting games are out there on the market. Our designers play everything, not just our games. And right now is actually a great time to be a fan of the fighting genre, because there are so many quality titles out there. And we actually like having that competition from our competitors, because it just raises the bar for all games involved. It forces us to make a bigger, better game when we see that our competitors are doing the same. So with Mortal Kombat, we were really proud to see the tournament crowd really embrace that game. I mean, the game was featured in EVO last year, which was a new achievement for us. We hadn't been there before, so we're hoping that the tournament players will also embrace Injustice and have that same competition and same experience with this game as well. So every time we make a game, we actually sit down and create a new sound library. And it's actually a really interesting process, because things that you wouldn't expect create these sounds in these games. For instance, a bone break may actually be celery stalks that have been snapped in front of a microphone. So there's all kinds of creative ways to generate these sounds that are not at all what you would expect. So it's a really fun collaborative process with our sound designers, and they just bring a lot of different random things from their homes, and we just go to town seeing what we can come up with. So our art team was really excited about the challenge of coming up with characters and environments for Injustice. We obviously have a lot of fans of the DC Comics in our studio. We have guys that have been reading these comics for years and years and years. So when you have the chance to actually design Superman or actually design Batman, it's a great opportunity. And DC's been really supportive of us all along the way. We send all of our concept art and all of our characters to them for their feedback, and so far they've been very supportive and let us kind of run in the direction that we wanted to with these characters. So Injustice Gods Among Us will be out in spring of 2013 on the Wii U, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3. What picture do I have on my desktop? Fantastic question. I don't think I have any on my computer desktop. It changes like every third day. So right now my computer at work, the desktop image is actually an art print by an artist named Aaron Horkey. He does a lot of prints for bands when they do tours and concerts. So it's a print that he did for a band called ISIS, which is one of my favorite bands, and he's one of my favorite artists. So my favorite character in Mortal Kombat is Sub-Zero, and I think he gets a lot of people overlooking for Scorpion. I think Scorpion's the easy choice. I think more people should give Sub-Zero a second chance.
That's
a funny question.
How to play
Sub-Zero?
Yeah, your style, personal style.
I'm a button masher. With Sub-Zero, the key to playing with him is just to remember he's a little bit slower, but he's got some great ranged attacks. He can throw his ice, freeze his opponents, and then get in close and take advantage while they're momentarily stunned. So again, just be patient with him. Don't try to rush into the fight. Hold back a little bit, and I think you'll come out on top. And then they'll be like, that guy doesn't make any sense.
Well, name 3 things you associate with Russia.
Wow, 3 things that I associate with Russia. So 3 things that I would associate with Russia would obviously be just how large this country is and how diverse it is. It's pretty amazing. You know, we feel like the U.S. is a big country, but now that I'm actually here and I see like how the size of Moscow, and then I think about the overall size of the country, everything just feels huge here. And then of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say the excellent food. I've had just amazing food since I've been here. There's some very interesting dishes that we wouldn't necessarily have in the States that I've been able to have while here. And then, you know, the third thing is just the friendliness of the people. I think you know, it's kind of it was a foreign experience for me to come here. I'd never been here before, and I've been overwhelmingly amazed at how friendly all the people have been. So in summation, Injustice Gods Among Us is the next fighting game from NetherRealm Studios. Anybody that's a fan of Mortal Kombat should definitely give this game a try. If you're a fan of DC Comics and comic book characters in general, you should also definitely give it a try. We think we've got a really solid game that's going to be a really good value for the players, and when it comes out next year, hopefully everyone will love it.